Hello, good morning, and welcome to all of you. This is Rajesh Kumar Singhal, and I am here to present a new lecture on the phenomics platforms for the precise phenotyping and its application. So, friend, this is a very important topic for all the life sciences exams and also very important for the plant physiologist student for the ARS mains exams. And in this lecture, we will discuss about the different aspects of the phenomics platform, that why we need to develop these phenotypic platforms, and what is precise phenotyping, and how we can apply in the plant sciences research. So friends, we will start our discussion with the uh, multiple combined stress, that is the modern era and the new problem. So friends, you know that in the modern era or modern agricultures, there are a number of problems. Like one of the important problem, that is the climate change, and second problem is the abiotic stress. These are the major problems which are affecting the crop yield and the productivity. Also, from the previous decades or centuries, we are working on the single stress. Like we are working on the drought stress, we are working on the salinity stress. But when we go to the actual field condition, the real condition is totally different than the lab conditions. Like in the field conditions, we are not facing only a single stress, but we are facing a multiple stress or a combined stress at a times. And these conditions are increased in the modern agriculture, which cause the huge yield penalty. Okay, like you can see that when there will be a drought conditions, then due to drought conditions there will be a heat stress is also there. Okay, so mainly that in the Rabi season crop you are facing the terminal drought and the heat conditions. Also in the last lecture we have discussed that in the rain-fed agricultures we are generally facing the problem of the salinity stress. So drought and salinity stress also creating a problem, and some conditions drought, heat and the salinity also major problems, and some conditions when the irrigation we are irrigated water with the saline water, then there will be a flood and salinity, and sometimes we are facing the alternate drought and flood conditions. Also we are facing the deficient of some nutrients like NPK, that soil is deficient of NPK. Also we are same time we are facing the toxicity of cadmium, mercury, nickels and the several heavy metals. So we can say that today's agriculture or modern agriculture is not easy, because we are facing number of stresses at a time. So we can say we are facing new problem which are not in the previous agricultures, and these problems are complex in nature. You know that abiotic stress are quantitative in nature because they are regulating by the QTS. So they are very complex in nature. And third point is that they are more devastating. It means when we are discussed that drought stress affecting the 30% cause for the 30% of yield penalty, but when and also heat stress also affecting the 20% of yield penalty. what is the conditions happen when the drought and heat comes together? So generally they are more devastating, and the symptoms are also more, means they are complex in nature, also they are more devastating. So if problems is also new and they are complex in nature and more devastating, then we need some new solutions. Why we need new solutions? Because in the modern agriculture, there are major problems of labor scarcity. Okay, you know that modern agriculture is facing the problem of labor scarcity. Second, that we are doing the destructive phenotyping. What is the meaning of destructive phenotyping? Destructive phenotyping means when we measure any traits like relative water content or some biochemical parameters like SOD activity, catalase activity. So we have to pull up the leaf samples, or we have to use leaf sample, that is very destructive methods. Okay, and also this is very laborious work. Okay, so we need some new technologies or advanced techniques which are non-destructive natures, means directly without picking the leaf samples we can measure some traits. Also the third portion is the speed. You know that when you are doing the characterization of more than 100 germ plant, then we need speed, so we can measure number of traits. We can measure the number of traits. So for this, omics is the best approaches or the modern approaches, which is a non-destructive and very fast to analyze the all the data. Or in the modern time we are using the integrated omics or the multi omics. So आपको समझ में आया कि in the modern agriculture we are facing a number of problems because due to pollutions and the climate change and abiotic stress, our soils are continuously degrading, and our aims is the due to increasing population we need to increase the food production. But we are facing the several problems. For these problems we need some new solutions, and the integrated omics or the multi-omics are the advanced approaches which can measure the traits, and the speed is there very fast. Okay, so we'll discuss in the next slide that what is the omics. So this is a integrated omics. Okay, so omics is the some constituents of the cells. Okay, means आपकी cells के अंदर जितना भी component है that is known as omics. अब omics के there are different types of the omics like ionomics, metabolomics, phenomics, transcriptomics, proteomics and the genomics. अगर हम पूरे आयंस की बात करें, अगर आयंस की बात करें then ionomics, metaboloids की बात करें, if you talk about the metabolites then metabolomics, phenomics, if you talk about the morphological traits then this is, or physiological traits, this is phenomics. If we talk about the proteomics, means proteins, then it is proteomics. If we talk about the different transcripts or expression of transcripts, this is known as transcriptomics. And the genomics, when we talk about the differentially expressed genes, fundamental genes, then this is known as genomics. So in case of ionomics, it is used for the identified of the ion status, means this is for the ion homeostasis. So by the study of ionomics, we can know about the what is the ion homeostasis. Okay, then elucidate the ion detoxification. So by the study of ionomics, we can know about that which ion is in the higher concentration or which ion responsible for the detoxifications. Then also we can elucidate the uptake, absorption and the transport mechanism of different ions. Okay, if we talk about the metabolomics, then we can identify an expression of different protective metabolites like secondary metabolites. Okay, secondary metabolites. Also we can know about the expression level of different antioxidant enzymes like SOD, catalase, then ascorbate peroxidase. Okay, so we can know about the different antioxidant enzymes, means under the stress condition these metabolites are increasing or not. Also we can know about the variation in the different metabolites of the cells. Okay, then proteomics. So by the study of proteomics, we can know about the protein interaction, means if there will be two different proteins, then what is their interactions? They are positive, negative or neutral. Okay, also we can identify the post-translational modification like methylation. Okay, also we can identify an expression of stress proteins like salt stress protein, heat stress proteins, and there are a number of stress proteins which are expressed during the unfavorable conditions. And by that study of transcriptomics, we can identify an expression of different stress tolerance ट्रांसक्रिप्ट, मीन्स आपके जो ट्रांसक्रिप्ट है उसका एक्सप्रेशन इंक्रीज हुआ है और डिक्रीज हुआ है. आल्सो रेगुलेशन ऑफ डिफरेंट ट्रांसक्रिप्शन फैक्टर्स, दिस TF is known as transcription factors. Okay, also regulation of मेजर और कैंडिडेट जीन्स की इस जीन का रेस्पॉन्स और रेगुलेशंस क्या है. ओके, देन जीनोमिक्स. बाय द स्टडी ऑफ जीनोमिक्स वी कैन आइडेंटिफाई द फंडामेंटल जीन्स. आल्सो वी कैन आइडेंटिफाई द QTLs and the signal nucleotide polymorphism. Also we can develop different transgenic plants. And next the final come is the last is the phenomics. So phenomics we can use for the high throughput phenotyping. Also we can use for the real time imaging. Also we can use for the phenotyping of different abiotic stress tolerance attributes. Okay, so friends इस slide में हमने देखा there are different types of omics, that is ionomics, metabolomics, phenomics, proteomics, transcriptomics and genomics. So by the study of this omics, we can know about the what is the status of ions, means ion homeostasis, what is the status of metabolites. Also we can measure the different expression of traits, proteins, transcripts and the genes. After the integrated omics, we can know or we can conclude that this gene is responsible for the stress tolerance, this gene is responsible for the stress susceptible. So this is a modern approaches which can use for the study of cell constituents of the or cell constants. Okay, expression of different metabolites, proteins, transcriptome, genes, phenome and ions. Okay, so this is about the integrated omics. Okay, so before going to the phenomics, in this lecture we will mainly concern on the phenomics or the high throughput phenotype. Okay, so before going to this high throughput phenotyping, we have to understand the relationship between the plant and the light. Okay, so friends, you know that light is very important for the growth and the development. Okay, क्योंकि and the different component of the light such as intensity, okay, then duration and the color. Okay, these three components of solar light regulate the plant growth and the development. If we talk about the duration, so according to the duration, plants are classified into the long day plant, short day plant and the day natural plants. Okay, if we talk about the color, then the responses for different lights are different in the blue color, in the red color. Also you know that phytochrome, this respond to the phytochrome red and phytochrome TFR red. So different parameters are regulated by the light color and intensity. So you know that high light intensity and the low light intensity both affect the plant growth and development. And this is the light spectrum. Okay, so this is very known, that light spectrum. So in the light spectrum there are different electromagnetic waves. Okay, so these waves have two different character, that is E बराबर hc upon lambda. So one character is the lambda is the wavelength and second character is the energy. Okay, so energy is the inversely proportional to the wavelength. Okay, so in the solar spectrum there are different types of rays like gamma rays, then X rays, ultraviolet rays, then visual lights. Okay, so visual lights is made up of Vibgyor, that is violet, indigo, okay, blue, green, yellow, orange and the red. Okay, then infrared rays, radar, then FM radio waves, then short waves. Okay, so there are so many waves, and when you go there, okay, there will be an increase in the wavelength. Okay, increase in the wavelength. If wavelength is increasing, means there will be a decrease in the energy. Okay, so this is about the solar spectrum. तो solar spectrum में क्या होता है? There are different types of lights, like from gamma rays to this is short waves, and they are visual rays. They are Vibgyor. Okay, so this is about the solar radiation, and the energy is inversely proportional to the wavelength. Means अगर कोई आपकी एक रेज है, उसकी अगर वेवलेंथ हाई है, then energy less. Okay, there are also a different characteristics of molecules. That's every molecules have two types of spectrum. That is, first is the absorption spectrum and second is the action spectrum. Okay, so what is the meaning of these two spectrum? Means a molecules have a specific absorption spectrum. Okay, means आपका जो एक molecules है, they absorb a specific wavelength range and also act on the specific wavelength. Okay, so at particular wavelength they showing the peak. Okay, This is the example of chlorophyll. So you can see that chlorophyll B is showing the peak at more something 480, and chlorophyll A is peak at some more than 650 nanometer. Okay, so these are the characteristics of solar spectrum and the molecules present in the plant. So based on this, different phenotypic instruments are working like spectrophotometers. They are working on only this principle on the absorption and the spectrum action spectrums. Okay. Also there will be a Lambert Beer law, means concentration of different molecules depend upon the absorption of different rays. Okay. So now come to the phenotypic platform. Okay. So first we will discuss that what is plant phenotyping. So plant phenotyping is a set of techniques and the protocols. Means plant phenotyping is a set of different or combination of different techniques and the tools that are used to evaluate the plant features. Means आपके जो plant features है morphological and physiologicals that are measured by the different techniques and the protocols with the specified accuracy, means with the high accuracy and the more precision than the manual phenotyping under the various environmental conditions at a various size of organization from a single plant to a population or different genotypes of a crop. Okay, समझ में आ गया? Plant phenotyping क्या है? It is a set of techniques and the tools or a protocols that are used to evaluate plant morphological and physiological characters with more accuracy and precision under various environment at the from individual to a populations. Okay, very clear. Now come to the second, that what is phenomics. Okay, so phenomics is the collection of high dimensional phenotypic data. Okay, if we are taking the number of phenotypes or phenotypic data on a wide scales, means एक प्लांट के आप डिफरेंट phenotypic डाटा ले रहे हो और इसका कलेक्शन नोन एज phenomics. Okay, so it is a set of approaches and a protocols for accurately evaluating plant development, architecture and the composition at various scales. If you are taking different techniques and tool to measure or accurately evaluating the plant development, architecture and the composition data at various levels or various scale, that is known as phenomics. Okay, and crop phenomics is an interdisciplinary study of high throughput, accurate acquisition and processing of multi-dimensional phenotypes on. Okay, so crop phenomics क्या है? इसमें not only physiology, there are involvement of the plant physiology, but there will be an involvement of different models, mathematical formula to calculate the data. Okay, so there, if we are including number of data, then and with the more precision, means this is known as high throughput accurate acquisition. And later on we are processing this data at different multi-dimensional level by the help of the different imaging techniques known as crop phenomics. Okay, so this high throughput phenotyping and the genomic selection, this is GS is the genomic selections. Okay, these are the very complicated features and the controlled by the multiples alleles. You know that This phenotypic traits or phenotypic traits generally controlled by the QTLs. This is quantitative trait loci. Okay, QTLs. Okay, so it is very difficult to measure all the traits. So this high throughput phenotyping and the precise genotypic selection is used for the genetic marker and statistical modeling used for the. So this is the main use of this phenotyping platform for the high throughput phenotyping and the selection of this best genotypes. Okay. Next point, morphology and the physiology may now be measured non-destructively. Okay. So why we need non-destructively? So friends, you know that if we are measuring more than 100 genotypes, okay, if we have less seed material, okay, if we have less seed material, then if we are measuring several traits, like if we are measuring like antioxidant enzymes, okay, if we are measuring several physiological traits like relative water content, then we need destructive sampling. And when we use destructive samples, then it affect the our population size. Okay, because already we have very less samples, so we need non-destructive method, and this high throughput phenotyping is the non-destructive method and frequently evaluates more population or broad populations using the different sensors and the softwares. Okay, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि प्लांट फिनोटाइपिंग एक हमारा टेक्निक्स और टूल्स है that is used for the work with a very high accuracy. Okay, and it can use for the measuring of different traits. Okay, and the different imaging techniques used for the measurement of STP, high throughput phenotyping, and selection of best genotyping, and this is a non-destructive and very fast methods. Okay, so that is very clear that what is the phenotypic platforms. Okay, now come to the advances in the phenomics approaches. So first is the ground-based sensors and the phenotyping. Okay, so in this pics you can see that this is a robotic arms. Okay, so this, what is the use of this arms? So this arm, if we are using more than thousands ports in the lab condition, then it is very difficult to handling number of ports manually. So this robotic arms used to pick up these ports in the experimental purpose. Okay, and also you know that there are two different types of the sensors. That first is the line and second one is the conveyor. Okay, this is also known as one-stop sensors. Okay, also this is mobile, and this is a static type of a sensors. Okay, so in this there will be a sensor. Okay, this is a sensor, it take a, and this sensor is a mobile. Okay, so it take the data from, and these treatments or the plants are immobiles or statics, and this sensor is continuously moving and taking the data of all the populations. Okay, second is the mobile. So this platform is a mobile platforms. Okay, and there will be a chamber room where we have different image processing instruments. So these samples are moving in these chambers, and different data are collected. Okay, so there will be two types of platforms. That is, first is the statics, where the sensors are moving. Second is the conveyor belt type, where the samples are moving but they are going through a chambers where all the data are imaging data are recording. Okay, also there will be a types of imaging, different types of imaging, like visual lights imaging. So in the visual light imaging, we are using the 300 to 700 nanometers of lights. Okay, and some examples like silicon sensors and the LaminaTec 3D imaging. And these are two types, like 2D and the 3D. So 2D का example कौन सा? Silicon sensors, and the 3D example is the LaminaTec 3D imaging. Okay, so in these visual lights, generally we are using the RGB imaging. This RGB imaging is known as red, green and the blue imaging. Okay, you know that all the most of physiological processes are or plant respond to the visual light, that is red, green and blue. Okay, and several platforms like Phenopsis and the Vivum are developed based on this visual light imaging. And several traits like that, shoot biomass, leaf morphology, shoot tip extension, panicle and seed morphology is also measured by this visual light imaging. Okay, so friend, this is very clear that we have ground wave sensors and phenotyping, where we have two types of this, statical and mobiles. In the staticals, samples are not moving but sensors are moving, and second, the conveyor belt type, where the samples are moving but the sensors are static. Okay, also RGB, red, green and blue light imagings used for the imaging or phenotyping, and examples Phenopsis and Vivum. And different parameters like shoot biomass, leaf morphology and shoot tip extension are evaluated by these approaches. Okay, so first is the visual imaging, second is the infrared imaging. Okay, so friend, in the light spectrum, we discussed that after the visual rays, there will be a infrared radiations, and these are long wave radiation. Okay, these are long wavelength infrared radiations. Okay, so friends, you know that when there will be a object emit some light, okay, so some light is absorbed, okay, some light are reflected. Okay, and when they reflected, there will be a less energy. If less energy means lambda is increased, means they converted into the long wave radiations. Okay, so there will be an increase in the temperatures. So all objects emit infrared radiation, and this is related to their temperatures. Okay, means आपका कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट है, अगर वो रेडिएशन लेगा तो वहां पर एक तो वो कन्वर्ट कर देगा शॉर्ट वेव रेडिएशन टू द लॉन्ग वेव रेडिएशन, एंड दूसरा देयर विल बी अ जनरेशन ऑफ और इंक्रीज इन द टेम्परेचर्स. ओके, इन प्लांट रिसर्च दिस इंफ्रारेड कैमरास आर यूज्ड टू मेजर प्लांट एंड लीफ टेम्परेचर्स. ओके, मींस आपका कैनोपी टेम्परेचर्स मेजर करने के लिए मेनली दिस इंफ्रारेड इमेजिंग्स आर यूज. ओके, and this is a non-destructive methods. Okay, and this canopy temperature or this infrared imaging can be used for the plant use behavior, including the transpiration and the leaf stomatal conductance. So friends, you know that transpiration is a very important process for the plant, because it is used for the cooling of the plant under high temperature conditions. Okay, so water taken by the root is lost and left by the transpiration from the foliage portion through stomata. So we can measure the leaf temperatures. Okay, and also we can measure the canopy temperature. Okay, जैसे thermal example is the thermal gun, and this gun we also use for the measurement of the human bodies. Like during corona we have used these approaches for the measurement of human body temperatures. Okay, then next is the RGB imaging. So last slide we have discussed that this is a visual light imaging, means we have that red, green and blue lights. So this standard digital color imaging can be applied to extract visual traits. जो आपके morphological traits है, for this we use this RGB imaging, and over time this can capture a large range of parameters related to the plant growth and development. Also they provide measurements on the morphology and architectures. Okay, so this is an example of infrared imaging, and this is example of RGB imaging. Next is the hyperspectral imaging. So this is a third types of imaging which is mainly used in the phenotyping platform. So in the hyperspectral cameras operated in the visual, near infrared and the short wave infrared, मीन्स इसमें आपकी तीनों टाइप्स की रेडिएशन इंक्लूड होती है, शॉर्ट वेव, लॉन्ग वेव एंड द विजुअल वेव्स. ओके, सो इट्स गिव्स द 3 डायमेंशनल डाटा सेट्स. ओके, मीन्स आपका ये जो मॉलिक्यूल्स आपका विजुअल्स में होता है उसका भी, शॉर्ट में होता है उसका भी, और लॉन्ग में होता है. मीन्स इट्स गिव ए 3 डायमेंशनल ऑल डाटा सेट्स और मेक ए स्पेक्ट्रल प्रोफाइल्स. ओके, एंड ईच पिक्सल्स show a data, and further by image processing we can extract the data and it show the water content, cell structure, leaf pigments like chlorophyll and anthocyanin content. So we can phenotype different parameters related to the plants. Okay, so समझ में आया आपकी 3 टाइप्स की इमेजिंग टेक्निक्स है, इंफ्रारेड, RGB एंड हाइपर स्पेक्ट्रल. इंफ्रारेड में हम लॉन्ग वेव रेडिएशन यूज कर रहे हैं, मेनली किसके लिए है, आपकी टेम्परेचर्स के लिए. RGB मॉर्फोलॉजिकल ट्रेड्स के लिए. हाइपर स्पेक्ट्रल आपका कंबाइन है जिसमें आपका विजुअल, लॉन्ग और शॉर्ट वेव रेडिएशन है, और 3 डायमेंशनल इससे डाटा सेट होता है. तो ईच पिक्सल प्रेजेंट ए 1 डाटा, सो वी कैन एक्वायर मोर नंबर ऑफ डाटा. ओके, नाउ वी विल डिस्कस दैट how this high throughput phenotyping works. Okay, so there are mainly 4 components. Okay, there are 4 components. So first component is the high throughput phenotyping, means for which data we are using this application, means we are using for the density of means आपका leaf density या panicle density or some traits, which traits we are using for this phenotyping platforms. Density analysis, plant growth, seedling count, vegetation index, for different traits we are using this. So this is the application of high throughput phenotyping, means which trait you are using this platform. And second process for the imaging world is, means we are using different imaging techniques, means there will be a land based camera or ground based camera, or there will be a aerial imaging like drone camera. Okay, we are taking the imaging by the help of land camera or the drone cameras. Okay, then there will be a third approach where we are taking the computer vision task. So there will be a control house or the control chamber where we will classify the image, then we will image regression, also the detection of the objects, then we will analysis of image, then we will get segment different image segmentation. ओके सबसे पहले आपने ट्रेड्स को आइडेंटिफाई किया कि किस ट्रेड के लिए which traits we have to use this application, then we have taken the images by the different ground based or aerial based imaging, then there will be a computer based software where will we classify or the analyze these images, then we will process this image into the data by the machine learning networks or the processings, and then after the processing of this learning we will get the data of what is the density of your plant, what is the plant growth status, what is the seedling count, vegetation index and the spike, means we will get the different data. तो वेरी क्लियर है। तो सबसे पहले हमने क्या किया, सबसे पहले किस ट्रेड के लिए करना है, फिर हमने उसका इमेज लिया, फिर उसको कंप्यूटर से एनालिसिस किया, फिर उसको प्रोसेस किया डाटा में, फिर हमारे पास सेट आ जाएगा कि ये डाटा हमारा ये है। सो वेरी क्लियर। नाउ कम टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। सो फ्रेंड दिस इज ए एग्जांपल ऑफ सम प्लेटफॉर्म्स। ओके सो ऑलरेडी डिस्कस दैट देयर विल बी ए टू टाइप्स ऑफ प्लेटफॉर्म, दैट इज द कन्वेनर टाइप एंड द वन स्टॉप. So this is a static types and this is a mobile types. Okay, so there will be a, this is the examples, like in the convener types there will be a Lambda Tech Scan Analyzer 3D, Lambda Tech Scan Analyzer 3D also. So Lambda Tech, this is the mobile one, and the well weather. Okay, so in this we are mainly using the RGB, NIR, near infrared and FLUO fluorescence type. This is fluorescence type. Okay, so these are the sensors we are using in these models. Okay, so number of ports are regulated like 300, 600, 2400, and in the different plants this study was done, and different traits like biomass, plant height, leaf width, compactness, drought stress, biomass, nutrient stress, salt stress, water content, plant height, water efficiency, water content, different traits are used. Okay, so these are the platform which are already used in the different countries for the and phenotyping of different crops. Okay, also one stop type we have different models like Phenovetor, Phenoscope, PhenoArch, Glypace. Okay, so they are different types of models. Okay, and different types of sensors like RGB, CT scan, RGB, fluorescence, near infrared, they are using in the different plants, and different traits like drought stress, tiller number, photosynthetic efficiency, rosette size, evaporation, projected area. So number of parameters are used. So this slide shows that there are mainly two types of platforms, like convener types, that is mobile types, and the second one is the one type, that is static types. And this crop, these models are validated in the different crops for the by using different types of sensors like RGB, NIR, fluorescence, hyperspectrals, and different traits like biomass, plant height, leaf width, photosynthesis, stress, and nutrients. So many traits are measured. Okay, so it is very clear. Now come to the point that friends, we are taking a number of parameters like morphological indicators, physiological and biochemical indicators, biotic and abiotic stresses, also yield traits. So friends, we are measuring different types of traits in the different crops like soybean, cotton, soybean arabidopsis, and we are taking the different data like RGB, thermal. Okay, and also different types of phenotypic character like plant height, tiller number, canopy temperature. So many data are taken, but this slide shows that the accuracy of these phenotypic platforms. So this table shows that this analysis and validation show that these data are more than 80 or 90% are accurate. Okay, So we can say that phenotyping or the use of this phenotyping platform is a very trustable and the more efficient approaches. Okay, very clear. So conclusion of this slide is that phenotyping by the using of this phenotyping platform is very accurate. Okay, and these tables are adopted from the Lee et al. 2022. Okay, now come to the a list of different imaging techniques which are used for the plant phenotyping. So first one is the visual imaging. So already discussed that RGB imaging we are using for the projected area, growth dynamics, shoot biomass, yield traits, panicle traits, root architecture, imbibition and germinations, early embryonic axis growth, plant height, size, morphology. Means mostly this is used for the morphological traits. Okay. Then second is the fluorescence imaging. So this is a pixel based map of emitted fluorescence in the red and the far red regions, and this techniques used for the photosynthetic status, variable fluorescence, quantum yield, non-photochemical quenching, that is NPQ, then leaf health status and the shoot architectures. Okay, clear. Third is the thermal imagings. Okay, so already discussed that infrared imaging used for this thermal imaging, and canopy and leaf temperatures used for the next NIR imaging, and continuous and discrete spectrum near infrared regions also used for this, and water content compositions, leaf area index measurements used for this near infrared imaging. Then hyperspectral imagings. So this is used for crop vegetation cycles and leaf canopy water status, leaf canopy health status, panicle health status, leaf growth, convergence. Means more number of data could be measured by the hyperspectral imaging. And 3D imaging we are using for the depth analysis like shoot structure, leaf angle distribution, canopy structure, root architecture and the heights. Okay, then laser imagings. This is also 3D approaches and used for the shoot biomass, structure, leaf angle, canopy structure, root architectures, different parameters. Then MRI, that is magnetic resonance imagings. Okay, so this is used for the 3D imaging for the water content. Then positron emission techniques. So this is, in this we are using the radioactive compounds, and this is used for the transport, partitioning and the water flow. Okay, then next is the CT, that is known as computed tomography, and this is used for the anatomical studies of the voxel and tissues for the grain quality and the morphometric parameters of the plants. Okay, so friends, there are number of imaging techniques that is used for the plant phenotyping. So visual, fluorescence, thermal, near infrared, hyperspectral, 3D, laser, magnetic resonance, positron imaging and computative tomography. So these are the techniques which are used for the plant phenotyping. Okay, that is very clear. Now come to the next slides. So next slides, friends, there are some other instruments which are used for the phenotyping, but they could, like one is the speedometer. So friend, this is a very common instrument, and also this is a very cheap instrument. Okay, so it determines the relative amount of chlorophyll by measuring the absorption of leaf in two wavelength in the 400 to 500 and 600 to 700 nanometers. Means speedometer generally used for the showing the concentration of the chlorophylls. Okay. Second, chlorophyll fluorescence meters. Okay. So friends, you know that absorbed light energy in excess that is used for photochemistry must be, means आपकी जो light आती है, that is some light is used for the phytochemistry and some light which is lost is used in the form of fluorescence. Okay, so we can, when we can use this fluorescence, we can know about the quantum yield. Okay, so this fluorescence meter used for the this quantum yield. Okay, then infrared gum already discussed that it is used for the measurement of canopy temperatures. Okay, and it's work on the infrared radiations. Okay, so these are the some small instruments which are used for also for added for the phenotyping. And friends, this is one of the instrument that is known as root analyzer. So friends, you know that root is the very important for the phenotyping, and the root phenotyping is not a easy phenotyping, and root analysis is a destructive method of the root phenotyping. However, in the modern type there are several in vivo root analyzers which can measure the root architecture in the field conditions, but they are very costly. So they can use for the analysis of root structure, architecture of the plants. But in case of the crop, where we are using number of germ plant and we can afford number of root, this root analyzer. In this case, this root analyzer or destructive method is a very good method. So we can measure different parameters like root area, total root length, number of root tips, number of root forks, number of segments, number of average diameter of the root volume. So number of parameters can be phenotyped by this root analyzer. Okay. Also, this is a very known instrument that is known as infrared gas analyzer. So this instrument is also used for the photosynthetic measurements. Okay, so you know that there will be so many heteroatomic molecules like CO2, H2O, ammonia, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, N2O, NO, and the methanes. They have different absorption spectrum in the infrared regions. Okay, so these heteroatomic molecules in the plants have different absorption spectrum. So they absorb different spectra of the light. So we can measure the photosynthetic rate, Ci, that is carbon inside the leaf, then Gs, that is stomatal conductance, and the transpiration rate. Okay, so these parameters can be measured by this infrared gas analyzers. Okay, then these are the some model or novel or modern test meters like pH meters, conductivity meters. These are the pocket meters. Okay, generally used for the measurement of pH, conductivity meter, nitrate concentration, salinity concentration, sodium content, potassium content, calcium content. So friends, these are the very cheap instruments and can be used for the measurements of these traits which are very difficult to measure in the lab condition, and they are very laborious in lab methods. So they can easily phenotypes, or these are also non-destructively we can measure in the field conditions. Okay, so these are the some instruments which can be used for the phenotyping purpose. So in the nutshell, we can say that there are some types of imaging platforms like aerials. Okay, unmanned aerial platform means there will be no involvement of human. Okay, this is unmanned. Okay, second is the manned aerial platforms. Okay, unmanned means like drone, manned means like helicopter. Okay, also satellites, these are used for the aerial imaging. Okay, also they are ground based imaging where we are using some pole based means sensor are situated on the poles, or cable we are using gantry based means platform, and the mobile regulated. So we have some ground based imaging platforms, and indoor we have two types, that is conveyor belt or the benchtop types. So we have different types of imaging platforms for the phenotyping. Then we have different imaging techniques like RGB, thermal, hyperspectral fluorescence, MRI and CT. So these are different imaging techniques which are used for the taking the imaging, and different traits which can be measures or used for the high throughput phenotyping like morphological, physiological, biochemical and stress related traits. Then we have one controlled chambers used for the processing of this imaging data for the imaging analysis, machine learning and deep learning, and this can be used for the plant breeding, QTLs, discovering of phenotyping markers, also used for the climate resilience, for the measurements of yield gap, also used for the precision agriculture and the management of fertigation and the irrigation scheduling. So friend, this is a nutshell that this is a very important techniques which can reduce the manpower. Also this can generate the big data that is used for the precision phenotyping. So the friend, this is about the phenotyping. I hope do you understand today's lecture, and this is very important interesting topic. So thank you very much.